The day of reckoning arrives for Coronation Street's evil Megan Walsh next week, as she appears in court accused of grooming teenager Will Driscoll. It's finally time for the villain to go before a jury, after months of manipulation and lies involving the vulnerable youngster. But we know that Megan is still dripping poison in Will's ear, and with a shock visitor arriving ahead of proceedings, is there any hope of her being found guilty? As the week begins, Maggie, Ben, and Eva are blindsided when Megan's mum Janine walks into the pub. Janine is unexpectedly remorseful, apologizing for her daughter's horrific behavior and even offering help. The Driscoll clan waste no time in kicking her out, though Ben's left feeling even more conflicted. However, the plot thickens, as it's then revealed that Janine was spying on behalf of Megan. Back in her daughter's car, Janine admits that there was no sign of Will in the pub. Megan turns on the waterworks, telling her mom that Will took advantage of her, and now she could end up behind bars. Janine believes every word of her daughter's sickening performance, so she later takes matters into her own hands and confronts poor Will in the street. Events in the run-up to the trial only add to Will's nerves, and the troubled teen has the weight of the world on his shoulders as his day in court arrives. As the trial begins, Megan's testimony causes a stir and deeply affects Ben before he takes the stand. What Megan says about Will feeling under pressure from Ben really sticks in his head, reveals Aaron McCusker, who plays Ben. He's not in a good place when it is his turn to give evidence. Ben does let emotions get the better of him, and he loses his temper in court. He feels like he has let his son down and might have made things a whole lot worse. Will's pre-recorded statement later plays out in court, and his family are completely devastated as they listen to more details of his grooming ordeal. But when brave Will is questioned by the barrister, he is forced to come face-to-face with Megan, and his loved ones can only hope that he won't crumble under the pressure. There are twists and turns ahead in Megan's dramatic trial, and afterwards Will is left desperate to testify again and keen to tell the full truth about his trauma. He is thankfully given permission to give evidence once more, but with Megan still glaring at him from across the court, can Will find the courage to speak out against her? At the end of a tumultuous day, the Driscolls return home and tell worried Ollie that the jury is now deciding Megan's fate. As Will and his family face a nerve-wracking wait for a verdict, will they get justice, and will Megan go to prison? They feel they have done enough and Megan has been exposed for the sort of woman she really is, but it is all in the hands of the jury, adds Aaron. We all know Megan is a master manipulator. Let's not forget she had the whole family fooled. Coronation Street is about to unleash one of its most explosive storylines yet, as the walls finally begin to close in on the manipulative and ruthless Megan. After months of lies, betrayal, and fear, Weatherfield residents are preparing for a dramatic courtroom battle that could change their lives forever. For years, Megan managed to keep everyone dancing to her tune. Charming when she wanted to be and terrifying when crossed, she built a web of secrets that seemed impossible to untangle. But now, with shocking evidence mounting and former allies turning against her, the once untouchable villain is facing the fight of her life. The news spreads across the cobbles like wildfire. At Roy's Rolls, conversations fall silent whenever Megan's name is mentioned. In The Rover's Return, residents exchange nervous glances, wondering whether justice will finally be served or whether the cunning schemer will somehow escape once again. Sarah Platt struggles to hide her anxiety. Having seen firsthand the damage Megan caused, she fears that the trial will force painful memories back to the surface. Meanwhile, Jenny Connor worries that old wounds are about to be reopened. Everyone connected to the case knows that stepping into court means revisiting the darkest chapter of their lives, but perhaps nobody is more conflicted than Kit Green. The detective has spent countless hours piecing together evidence, refusing to allow another mistake to let Megan slip through the cracks. Yet he understands better than anyone that a courtroom victory is never guaranteed. One wrong testimony, one missing piece of evidence, and everything could collapse. As the trial date approaches, cracks begin to appear in Megan's icy confidence. Gone is the smug smile that once made enemies shudder. Instead, viewers see glimpses of panic hiding behind her carefully crafted facade. For the first time, she realizes that she may not be able to manipulate her way out of trouble. However, this is Coronation Street, where surprises are never far away. Rumors swirl that a mystery witness could emerge at the 11th hour. Someone who has remained silent for months may finally decide to speak out. Their testimony could either destroy Meghan's defense completely or reveal shocking truths that nobody saw coming. Meanwhile, David Platt becomes increasingly suspicious when he notices strange behavior from someone close to the investigation. Is there another secret waiting to explode? Could someone be hiding information that might change the outcome of the case? As opening statements begin, the atmosphere inside the courtroom becomes electric. Families sit anxiously, desperate for answers. Friends cling to each other, hoping the nightmare is finally nearing its end. And at the center of it all sits Meghan, still defiant, still dangerous, but perhaps more vulnerable than she has ever been. The prosecution paints a devastating picture, outlining the trail of destruction left in Meghan's wake. Witness after witness recounts the fear, manipulation, and heartbreak she inflicted. Emotional testimonies bring many in the courtroom to tears, while Meghan's legal team fights desperately to cast doubt on every accusation. But then comes the bombshell. A revelation nobody expected sends shockwaves through the proceedings. Gasps echo around the courtroom as a hidden truth emerges, threatening to turn the entire case upside down. Even Meghan appears stunned, her confidence shaken by information she never imagined would come to light. Back on the street, residents wait nervously for updates. Carla Connor admits she can hardly bear the uncertainty, while Audrey Roberts prays that justice will prevail. For many, this isn't just about punishment, it's about closure. They need to know that the fear and suffering they endured were not in vain. Yet some wonder whether prison would truly be the end of Meghan's story. Villains have a habit of returning to Weatherfield, often more dangerous than before. Could this trial merely be the beginning of another twisted chapter? As the jury prepares to deliberate, tension reaches breaking point. Lives hang in the balance, relationships are tested, and secrets continue to emerge. Nobody knows which way the verdict will go, but one thing is certain: Weatherfield will never be the same again. Whether Meghan walks free or faces the consequences of her actions, Coronation Street has promised viewers a week packed with emotional confrontations, shocking twists, and unforgettable drama. And if history has taught fans anything, it's this: never underestimate a woman like Meghan. Even with the entire world against her, she might still have one final card left to play. Point one verdict. One shocking truth. And one trial that could change Coronation Street forever. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Coronation Street Scoop News Update.